up? Hello. Welcome to Hack a Chat. These are our divisional previews. You got me. I'm Chuck P. With me, as always, is the man who's always bringing the good vibrations. It's Danny Dan and the Funky Bunch. Dan, what are we going to do today?
We are here to talk some hoops and tell you what happened to Harold Miner.
Behind
that was
the
a good
MacBook,
one. You almost made me break. You almost made me break.
Behind the MacBook, we have our valiant videographer, Gyro.
It's great to be here.
We are so excited to get our divisional previews started. So excited so that I messed up my own intro. I didn't even say a thing for me. I kind of forgot about that. But hey, I got you
excited
a good
to get
one.
running. So
I got you a good one, and it's on theme, and we'll talk about that soon. We are gonna go through each team by division, break down what we're thinking for this NBA season. We're gonna talk about the player that we are interested in the most, the lineup that we're interested in seeing the most. We got some fun ones, let me tell you.
Yes, we do.
And we're going to break down the M. Night Shyamalan of each of these teams. M. Night Shyamalan films, you never know what you're going to get. You never know what's going to be at the end. We have the answers. We know the ending for each of these teams. We're going to tell you how it's going to end. We might not agree, but we've got an ending nonetheless.
We've got something.
We want to keep these short and sweet. We want to keep moving through. We're trying to keep them a little bite-sized. So if we go too long, you're going to hear a buzzer, and it's going to sound kind of like this. That means we got to keep
so
moving.
Aggressive.
I know. Well, I mean, that was the.
It's like an alien escaped from Area 51. Like, let's just keep it under control.
Well, hopefully we can keep moving, so we don't even need that bad boy. We're gonna get started. We have a theme for each division.
Yes.
The theme for the Central Division: Mark Wahlberg films.
Gosh, what a great way to start.
Here we go.
We're gonna start out with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Normally, we're gonna do this in alphabetical order, but I want the Cleveland Cavaliers first. Cleveland Cavaliers, they are The Departed. That's the easiest metaphor I could have made. Such a great film. Everyone knew it was going to be great. Awesome cast. Just a phenomenal group of people. Did well in the box office. Did well critically. Everyone loves this. You can't argue. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they are The Departed.
Well, not even that, but the Cleveland Cavaliers are Mark Wahlberg's character in The Departed.
So true.
First of all, he's hilarious. He is totally a BA. And you know what? At the end of the movie, who's left standing? Mark Wahlberg.
Spoilers.
At the end of the NBA season last year, who was left standing? The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Spoilers. It's okay. I mean, that movie came out in 2006, so at this point.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it.
If you don't know who Kaiser Soze is by now, come on.
Right, yeah.
Wait, that's something totally different. So we're going to get to our favorite player that we are excited to see this season. Or maybe not our favorite player, but our most interesting player. Dan,
someone who we're excited to see.
Who are you going to keep your eye on for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
So my player to watch, it's, kind of an obvious one. I'm picking Kyrie.
Love it.
A lot of that has to do with he hit the eyeball shot on Steph Curry with 51 seconds left to ice the NBA championship. Let's see if he takes the second ascension from where he was as an already NBA superstar to the next level of perennial all-star, top point guard in the league, guy who you can just put the ball in his hands and he can go for 50 at any time. He already does that, but he's the guy I'm going to keep my eye on the entire year. Chuck, who are you keeping your eye on for the Cleveland Cavaliers this year?
This is tough. There's a lot of interesting people on the Cleveland Cavaliers. First, I want to see if J.R. Smith is keeping his shirt on. Second, I want to see what Iman Shumpert's doing with his hair. It keeps changing. I don't have time to keep track of it. Kay Felder is small. He plays big basketball, though. I'm going to be watching a lot of that. But the guy I'm going to be looking at the most, pretty obvious, the one everyone's looking at, LeBron James. I think LeBron is kind of moving into the next phase of his career. He's been this superstar, this dominant man, and he sees Kyrie Irving right behind him. I think he's ready to pass it off. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to play 54 games. He's going to play 28 minutes a game. No. No. He's not that far into his career. But I think he's ready to take a step back, be a little bit more of a facilitator than he was, get this team working together in a better way. I'm really excited to see how LeBron kind of passes that mantle on to Kyrie.
Yes, absolutely.
Before we put this down, I was going to put Kyrie because I thought it'd be the opposite way. But hey, look at that. We talked about them both. We got him. I'm excited to see LeBron James on the court, and I'm excited to see him with a lot of those guys I already talked about. Kay Felder, he's small, but he gets up. he's going to keep moving. J.R. Smith, he's a crazy person. You never know what's going to happen. Iman
You
Shumpert,
don't.
he has all the athleticism just spewing out of his body. LeBron James, of course, and Channing Frye. I like to see Channing Frye at this. You'll notice a theme in my lineups. I tend to go small ball. I stretch the lineups a little bit. So if you notice, it's like, Charlie, you haven't picked a center this whole time. I'm probably not gonna. But
Probably not gonna happen.
hey, look, these are my lineups. This is what I'm excited about. Kay Felder, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, LeBron James, Channing Frye. If they're on the floor at the same time, I am tuning in. Dan, how about you?
My lineup that I'm excited to see hopefully get on the court is going to be Kyrie Irving at the 1, J.R. Smith at the 2, Michael Dunleavy at the 3, LeBron James at the 4, and Channing Frye at the 5.
Done.
So much shooting, so much ability to
shooting.
spread the floor. Not a lot of defense, which is going to be a theme with a lot of my lineups, but just so much shooting that it doesn't even matter. We're going to outscore you. Try to score. It doesn't matter. Get layups all night. Whatever. We're just going to outshoot you and outscore you no matter what you do to us. So that's what I'm sticking with. Charlie, Chuck P.
Yeah.
What is your M. Night Shyamalan
Look,
for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
it's easy. Everybody knows the Cavs are going to be great. Cavs are going to be number one. The Cavs all season, all they're going to do is just try to stay healthy. That's it. If they stay healthy, they have the greatest chance of going back to the finals and defending their title. That's it.
Yes.
All you have to watch from this team is watch them get healthy. This is an obvious one. This isn't a big mystery that M. Night Shyamalan had. There was not very much fog in the air. We could clearly see this is what's going to happen. Pretty simple. Dan, how about you, man?
So I'm going with the key to success for the Cleveland Cavaliers. What a twist! Chris Anderson. Everyone loves Chris Anderson. Everyone loves being around him in the locker room.
Birdman.
He brings everything together, and he is going to be the guy that is going to be the glue that propels this team to play the Warriors in the NBA Finals, get that top seed in the East. What a twist. Chris Anderson, M. Night Shyamalan for the Cleveland Cavaliers as we wrap up this team.
Yep. Well, we got Tyronn Lue in his first. Oh, look at that.
Whoa!
5 minutes. We nailed that one.
That was our
man.
first try at it.
Oh, we killed it. All right, let's move on. Chicago Bulls head coach Fred Hoiberg. The Chicago Bulls, they are Transformers Age of Extinction. A lot of big things in this franchise. Flashy
Lots of
things.
names.
A lot of explosions. You got the big director. Well, Fred Hoiberg, not the biggest director. Look, not everything's perfect. But you have this big franchise that everyone's going to have their eye on. Is it going to be good? Probably not. It's probably not going to be good.
It's not going to be good.
Hey, are we going to enjoy the ride? I mean, we probably won't enjoy the ride either. Look,
Maybe.
it's not going to
Maybe
go
not,
well.
probably.
But the real question is, are people going to come and pay the money?
Yes.
Yes.
It's Chicago.
They're going to come to pay the money.
It's Chicago.
And that's the big
of
thing.
course they're going to come. They're gonna have support no matter what. One player I think is going to be looking for that support, Doug McDermott. I think that it is time for Doug McDermott to take a step forward because what this team needs more than anything else is shooting anywhere.
Absolutely.
They have Rajon Rondo, Dwayne Wade. Like these guys can't shoot. Excuse me. Doug McDermott is like this like shimmering hope. Hey, if he can knock down some jumpers, maybe we can create a little space. Doug McDermott, keep my eyes on that guy. How about you, Dan?
So the guy that I am going to keep my eye on, similar type reason, Nikola Mirotic, guy that spreads the floor, guy that is very versatile, guy that can do a lot of different things. Played well in the Olympics this summer, has the opportunity to kind of grow and expand as Fred Hoiberg really gets his teeth into this team, really gets his, imprint on what he wants to do, playing a little up and down, having the big guys be able to step out, stretch the floor. Nikola Mirotic, keeping my eye on him throughout the entire season.
I like it. We've had a change at the point guard position. We have like all of our lineups filled out, and just a couple days ago, Michael Carter-Williams joined this roster. Speaking of not having any shooting, Michael Carter-Williams.
Let's add him to the mix.
Well, Dan, you have Michael Carter-Williams down. Who are you putting on the floor with him to try and make a Bulls lineup interesting?
So it's not even make it interesting, but who would I just like to try to put on the floor to, create some different goofy matchups, try to do some things that are different than what we'd possibly see. So that's why I put Michael Carter-Williams in it, a guy that's 6'6", long, rangy, not necessarily a shooter, but can do a lot of different things with the ball in his hand. Adding Jimmy Butler to that mix because love Jimmy Butler, love his game, love how he is always in attack mode. I think he is going to be the one that comes out from this Bulls season that's Probably not going to be the best, but going to be the guy that is going to emerge as the next guy. Doug McDermott in that list, again, shooting. Nikola Mirotic, just talked about him. And adding as my centers, Bobby Portis.
Love
again,
it.
a little smaller lineup, not a lineup that, he's going to probably defend well or defend the rim at all. But again, what I'm about is putting lineups together that can flat score the ball. I think this lineup can do that.
I have the same 4 and 5. I got Mirotic and I got Portis as well. This is time, no longer having Pau Gasol, no longer having Joakim Noah. I think Bobby Portis has got to make a name for himself this season. And everyone before the last year was like, how is he going to get minutes? You got minutes now. You got to do something with him. Jimmy Butler's an amazing defender, especially on the wing. I love him having my 3. I want to see what Denzel Valentine's made of. I had to watch him play against Ohio State for too long and got too mad at him. Yeah, Dover does not like Denzel Valentine. I want to see what he can do in the NBA, and I like Isaiah Cannon. I think that honestly, this might be a problem. He might be their best point guard. He's not really a point guard.
No.
But look, you got Rajon Rondo there. What are you going to do? The end of the season, we're going to see that, look, just because Age of Extinction wasn't an amazing film, was it worth it for Mark Wahlberg? He made $1. Yeah, it was worth it. Was it worth it for us to invest our time in the Bulls? They're going to sneak into the playoffs. Yeah, okay, it was worth it a little bit, but we now know how they're going to lose in the first round because that's what's going to happen. They're going to lose in the first round. Bulls sneaking into the playoffs. How about you, Dan? What are you thinking?
So I actually have them missing the playoffs this season. I don't think they're going to get in. I don't think, again, kind of to stay in the theme, Mark Wahlberg's Transformers, didn't see it. Didn't really care to see it. Love Mark Wahlberg, but don't love the idea of him in a Transformers movie with Michael Bay. Kind of how I feel about this. Always liked the Bulls. Always liked them as a team. Always liked them as a franchise. I think this one, though, is the one I'm going to be leaving at the box office instead of going to the box office. So Bulls out of the playoffs for me in our prediction. Don't think it's going to happen. Not so hot for the Bulls this season.
Look at that. We don't even have to hear the buzzer. Don't even play the buzzer. We finished. We got it. We got it in time before he made the buzzer go off. I don't want to hear that in my ears. Let's just move on to the Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers, coached by Nate McMillan. The Indiana Pacers, they're boogie nights. They're just a good old time. This is
a good choice.
Good movie. Good flick. If it's on, I'm going out of my way to watch it. I love the players that they have. I love what the Indiana Pacers have created. I think it's going to be something well worth watching, well worth investing our time into. Dan, what do you think?
Well, I completely agree, and I took kind of the same idea. Like, we're going to keep it down at one Wahlberg film, but I couldn't not mention The Fighter in a Wahlberg film.
Of course.
Expose. So I had to take a look at why I would choose. Boogie Nights is a great choice, obviously 100%, but The Fighter it feels like the Pacers, a team that is always nitty-gritty, a team that is always kind of the underdog, but this year they're coming into the season and they have a lot of talent, a lot of new faces, a lot of new ideas, a lot of new things that they're going to be doing, but they're still going to scratch and claw like they've done since they've had the that Frank Vogel touch to their team. So I think it's going to have that same kind of feel, but just with some new energy and a new voice. So I like the Boogie Nights, but I'm just going to do a parentheses, The Fighter.
I love that. Who are you keeping your eye on for the Indiana Pacers?
So I am going to be keeping my eye on Miles Turner, a guy we talked about a lot last season. Going to make the jump from that first year in the NBA to the second year. A guy that is
MIP candidate, most improved.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. He is a guy that can step away from the rim. He can defend the rim. He's got a lot of facets to his game that are really exciting. Love the fact that Big Al Jefferson is on that team now to kind of coach him through how to play with his back to the basket.
Yeah.
I think having Al Jefferson alongside Miles Turner is going to only help Miles Turner grow into his emergence as an NBA player. Chuck P., who are you keeping your eyeballs on?
Well, we've seen Jeff Teague take a step when he was playing for the Hawks. If he can keep his three-point shooting up with the Indiana Pacers, he is going to create a lot of problems for them. A lot of people are talking about the trade that was made sending George Hill to the Utah Jazz, and one of the big lines that everyone's pulling is like, well, I think George Hill was a little underrated. Well, I think that Jeff Teague, if he can keep his shooting up, might be that same way. I think people are underselling him a little bit. I like Jeff Teague. I mean, this is a guy who made an all-star team already, and putting him on the floor, if he can keep that shooting up, creates a lot of spacing. That's going to be a lot of fun. I like just getting excited thinking about having him, Monte Ellis, CJ Miles, Paul George, and Miles Turner on the floor at the same time. I think that is just straight up offense. It's a lot. There's some speed there with Monte Ellis. Now, I'm really disappointed that Monte Ellis had to age like a normal human would, because having him at 26 in this spot would be amazing.
Exactly.
It's still going to be good. It's still going to be fun.
Still going to be good.
What do you think?
Still going to be good. I agree. I love the Jeff Teague. Keep your eye on him. Going to be great in the pick and roll in Indiana, like he has been since he's been down in Atlanta. So I think it's going to be a great pickup for them. The lineup that I would dream lineup, again, it's kind of crazy, but I'm putting Monte Ellis at the 1, Rodney Stuckey at the 2, CJ Miles at the 3, Paul George at the 4, and we're putting Big Al down at the 5. Now, you think I'm nuts, but the reason why we're doing this is I am a classic 4-round 1. Let's have a bunch of guys on the edge that can shoot it from 3, and have one guy we can just dump it into, and if we have to, can get it back to the basket bucket in crunch time when we need a basket. Big Al is the best back to the basket player in the NBA. Still causes problems for everybody because they're moving so far away from having guys guard down there that he can just abuse anybody on the block. So a lineup that maybe not set just like this, but we'll see lineups where we're going to have a bunch of shooters around Big Al down on the block to get themselves a bucket. So keep my eye on that. What is your M. Night Shyamalan for the Pacers?
Well, I really like the fact that we both put Paul George at the 4, even though like it's been well established that he does not want to play the 4. But I think that Paul George is going to put on more responsibilities than he ever has in the past. I think Paul George is going to be an MVP candidate, top 5 guy. I think he's great on offense, great on defense, and if this team can get rolling, which a lot of us think they will, I think that he has a very good shot of being an MVP candidate. I think the Pacers are going to be a top 4 seed. I have them at number 4. I think that it's just going to be hard, especially in the East, to find a lot of difficult competition for them. And I think Paul George is just going to take that next step again. How about you?
Yes. Speaking of PG-13 movies, my M. Night Shyamalan is going to be a new voice. You have Nate McMillan now taking over the reins. I think you're going to have a lot of the same philosophies and thoughts that you had with Frank Vogel being there, the toughness, the ability to defend. But I think you're going to have a new voice, just re-energizing this entire crew. Kind of like a Sixth Sense feel, where it was like, whoa, this is something brand new with these movies that have such a giant twist. So I think that new voice is going to be something that's very good for this Pacers team. I have them number 2 in the East preseason, so keep an eye out for the new voice, Indiana Pacers.
I know we're over our 5 minutes, but we do have Paul George right here next to us. I mean,
what? Wow,
Paul George,
what do you know?
What do you think of your chances? Like, there it is, there it ain't, on being a top 5 MVP candidate and being a top seed in the NBA playoffs for the East.
There it is.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course it is.
Straight from the horse's mouth. Well, we're done with the Indiana Pacers, so we don't need that anymore. Let's move on to the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons, they've got SVG at the helm. Now, Dan, this one's all you. You were excited about it, a different movie, and so I let you have the Mark Wahlberg film on this one. What do we got?
So I have the Detroit Pistons as Four Brothers, a classic Mark Wahlberg movie. But if you're not a huge fan of Mark Wahlberg, you probably don't know that it's a classic of his. We talked about, am I flipping through the channels and I get to FX and Four Brothers is on? Shoot, I see Wahlberg. I see some people punching each other. I'm going to stop and hang out for a little bit. And then you turn into the fact that, oh my gosh, this movie's pretty freaking awesome. Kind of how I feel about what the Detroit Pistons are doing with Stan Van Gundy at the helm of that team. Now, there is a big issue starting off with you have Reggie Jackson out for significant time to start the year. Not going to be a good thing for this team, but we've talked about Ish Smith before as a great fill-in. I think it's a perfect fit for just kind of keeping things, level until Reggie Jackson can get back. But player to watch for
that's what I had. Pistons. My player to watch, Ish Smith.
Absolutely.
You look at that. We talked about him last year, an adult who plays point guard. Boom. He's got a lot of speed. I just love to see Ish Smith in a position where, look, there's nothing else we can do. This is just go play basketball. Look, we don't have a lot we can handle right now. Reggie Jackson's out. We don't have a lot of backup. Ish Smith, go for it. I love that. I love that. A guy that we talked about taking a big step, Dan, who do you got for your impact player?
impact player, not necessarily impact player, but just
player
player
to
that I
watch.
want to keep my eye
Always.
on as they continue to grow is Stanley Johnson.
Yes.
The thing with him, we found out last season in the playoffs in big moments, he did not back down from LeBron James,
He's got
who
those
is
Sam
the alpha of the
Cassell's,
league.
baby. Sam Cassell's.
Oh, absolutely. He is a guy that is going to continue to develop. I'm excited to watch him develop. I want to keep my eye on him as I keep my eye on the Pistons throughout this season. Speaking of lineups that I'd like to keep my eye on and players I'd like to keep my eye on, this lineup that I have is crazy, and it will never be on the floor because there is no shooting.
Right.
But it would be maybe the best defensive lineup in the NBA just from a sheer length and attitude, and we're not letting anyone score kind of idea. So we're going KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at your point guard position, Stanley Johnson at your shooting guard, Tobias Harris as your small forward, Marcus Morris as your power forward, Andre Drummond at your center position. Never going to happen. This is not going to be a lineup you're going to see, but if it ever comes out this way, I will be very excited because, man, that is a defensive nightmare. But it's all guys that are, you can switch everything, you can guard everywhere, but you're probably not going to make any baskets on the other end, which goes against everything that I talked about with what lineups I'm creating. Chuck, you probably have a more realistic one. Give me the lineup you would, dream up in your head and put together.
I really like Reggie Jackson, KCP, and Stanley Johnson as the top three. Like I just like those combination of guys. I think Marcus Morris, maybe the stretch for that this NBA is starting to move towards.
Right.
I put some Tobias Harris at my 5 because I was kind of crazy when I was writing it down. Wow. Now that I'm thinking about it, you know what? Andre Drummond would be a really good one to put there. I mean, that sounds like a legitimate lineup. That's probably going to be their starting lineups on more nights than not. But you know what?
Yeah.
What if Tobias Harris was their 5? Like think about that. What if Tobias Harris was their 5? I'm just going to dream about that. Okay, we don't have a lot of time for dreaming.
No,
we want to find out what's going on at the end of those dreams, at the end of those M. Night Shyamalan mind benders. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen is Stan Van Gundy, he's going to put something together to sneak the Pistons into the playoffs. As long as they can get Reggie Jackson back for enough time, SVG is going to figure it out. He's going to put those pieces together. I have faith in SVG. I don't like that I just said that. But, I think it'd be fun to have them sneak into the playoffs, and I think that he's the guy that could push them there. Dan, how about you?
Well, I'm going with something that is not necessarily a good M. Night Shyamalan twist. That makes me a little nervous, but it keeps me in my prediction for the East. My M. Night Shyamalan prediction, it's not necessarily great, more of an After Earth kind of thing. Reggie Jackson never gets healthy, never plays this season. But like we talked about, you have an Ish Smith that can play that point guard role and still fit all of these pieces together that they have. I still have the Pistons sneaking into the 5th spot, but my M. Night Shyamalan prediction that could be something that's not the twist we're looking for. Reggie Jackson suffers from injury the entire year, never gets fully healthy, but Pistons still sneak into that 5 spot, in my opinion.
That's a really scary future that I don't want to think about.
Me either.
That's fine. We're going to go talk about the Milwaukee Bucks now. How's that sound?
Yes, I love that because I love the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right, so the Milwaukee Bucks, they're the other guys. Look, you got two fun faces in Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. It's a fun time. You're flipping through the channels? All right, well, the other guys. I love this movie. Are you going out of your way to see that in theaters? Probably not. Is it on HBO one night and you're like, oh, I'll DVR it so I can watch it tomorrow? Yeah. Are you going to invest as much time as you can? No, you're not. And are they going to be amazing? It's going to be okay. But you're going to be glad you saw it. You're going to be glad you saw it because this team is made of players that are really unique. They're actually insane, this collection of players, to be completely honest. The guy who I want to keep my eye on is someone who is actually a crowd favorite here in Ohio because of the work that he did for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Matthew Dellavedova, the Aussie. I mean,
that's right.
He's a lot of fun. He
loves Foster's.
He does. He does love Foster's because it's Australian for beer.
Exactly.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Ad placement.
Very nice.
We have. I just love the heart that he shows, the hustle that he shows on defense. He started getting that shooting a little bit, and now that they don't have Michael Carter Williams there, he's the guy. I mean, Jason Terry is behind him, and so I I really want to keep my eye and see what he's going to do in a starting role when he's playing 35 minutes a game. Looking at Matthew Dellavedova. Who are you looking at, Dan?
Well, real quick, I want to go back to one thing real quick. Like you had said, it's the other guys.
Yeah.
The other guys, what happens in that movie? Spoiler alert.
He's shot
very early on in the movie. Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock, who you're thinking, oh, they're going to be in this movie, jump off a building and die. So you're like,
right.
These two awesome guys are not in the movie, which is kind of a bummer.
It's
but
true.
I was anticipating them being in the movie.
Right. So you're
So that's kind of
Williams.
who the Bucks are. Like last year, we were like, hey, the Bucks are the team. We're excited for the next step. Unfortunately, they did not take that next step. So another reason that we chose the other guys as
and
a good
part of
Wahlberg for these guys.
You were looking forward to seeing Chris Middleton. You're not going to see him this year, right?
That's the thing.
That's
the other reason.
I think that was definitely one of the guys who I had on my MIP list. I was like, oh my gosh, Chris Middleton could take a next step. You're not going to see him this year. That really sucks.
Which is a bummer. It's a huge. We've heard that it's like he could come back possibly April, but again, that's like best case Sixth Sense type scenario for M. Night Shyamalan predictions. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to miss him for the entire year. But player that I'm excited to keep my eye on and watch for the Bucks, Thon Maker.
Yeah.
Man, was I super excited about him before the draft? Yes. Was I even more excited when the Bucks got their hands on him? 100%. And then watching him in the summer league really play to just utmost of his, I guess, abilities in the sense that he gave a huge effort all the time he was on the floor. That's the biggest thing with a lot of these young guys, is like teaching them to play with effort, and he plays with 100% effort all the time he's on the floor. The other stuff will come if he continues to play with the type of effort he was playing with. So guy I'm going to keep my eye on, Thon Maker. Super excited about him. And what do you know? He happens to make an appearance in my dream scenario favorite crazy lineup.
Yep.
And this is a little nuts. But what is the theme for the Bucks?
Arms.
It's just arms.
Lots of
everywhere. So we have Giannis as our point guard. We have Rashad Vaughn at 6'7" as our shooting guard. We have Jabari Parker at 6'8", 6'9" as our small forward. We have Thon Maker at a 7-footer at our power forward. And we have John Henson playing our center. Just so many arms everywhere. This is that's a Syracuse 2-3 dream scenario. So much length.
That's so true. It totally is.
Yes.
I want to see Thon on the floor real bad too. I'm putting him at my 5. Put Jabari at my 4. I put Giannis at the 3. Rashad Vaughn. We'll see what he turns into. Delly at my 1 spot because everybody needs a piece of Delly. Love that guy. I think that's just going to be a fun lineup. I really want to see what Thon Maker does, too. I want to see how he fits in this NBA. Dan, what are you thinking about this team's outcome for the end of the year?
So we're calling these the Doug Martin leap years. Credit to my friend Ryan Irwin for coming up for this. So quick story. Doug Martin, a couple years ago, awesome rookie year. Yep. Comes back the next year as you are a top 5 fantasy football player. Everybody drafts him. Everybody pays a ton of money for him. In auction drafts, what do you know? He's not good. Comes back the year after all the expectations. Now he is a stud in the NFL again. So, we're going to keep going with it, though. I'm going past the time. We're running. We're going past it. So the Doug Martin leap year is the idea that you want to get your hands on the team the year after all the expectations was on their plate. Last year, everyone picked the Bucks to make a next step, to make a big leap from a middle of the road to a playoff team. Now we're picking them the year after. So the Doug Martin leap year goes to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Post-hype sleeper. Love it.
Exactly.
I am thinking that the Bucks are just going to be one of these middle-of-the-road teams. I think they're probably going to be 9 or 10. They're going to miss out on the playoffs. They're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be fun to see what players progress, what players regress. And hey, look, Michael Beasley is on an NBA roster again at the start of the year. Like it's not even like a 10-day contract thing. Like he has an actual contract. Which, hey Dan, guess what? You owe me 5 guys. You owe me 5 guys. I told you this was going to happen. Boom.
I owe you 5 guys.
Love it. All right. So now that we have that taken care of, we're really excited. This was our first divisional preview. We went down the 5 teams for the Central Division. They were Mark Wahlberg films. We're so excited to have you with us. Make sure you check out all the other content that's going on at thegamehouse.com. That's HAUS house.com. Find us on Twitter, hack_chat. Find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook account now, hackachatcast@gmail.com. If you have any other players that you are looking forward to, we'll talk about it. Check out the forums at the Game House as well. iTunes, Google Play Store, YouTube now. We have videos.
Wait. Did you know?
Subscribe
that
and you rate and you review all of that stuff. Share it with your friends. We want to get all this information out. We want people to start watching our stuff. We love you guys.
Dance
I don't care. I don't know what he's doing.
Did you know something the most exciting about the fact that we're doing the Mark Wahlberg division for the Central Division?
What? Yeah,
Did you know that he is shooting a basketball movie right now? And guess who is co-starring? A certain Harold Miner. Let's talk about him. So, Harold Miner, former NBA basketball player, working with Mark Wahlberg.
We have 5 more divisions to talk about. We don't have time for this. What are you doing?
All right. We'll talk about him next like full podcast. We'll talk Harold Miner.
All right. I mean, we'll look at the other division. Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, but
we'll figure it out.
We'll talk about it next time. All right.
Got it.
All right, but until then, travel safe. Be good to one another. Ball out.